Ladies and gentlemen, Laurie Cardoza Moore, and we are coming up on the final weeks of the race for the 63rd House District here in Williamson County in Tennessee. And I wanted to share a message with you. I was attending the Reagan's Day dinner on Saturday evening, and I was doing a little bit of a Bible study on leadership, and I want to share with you what I found, and it ties into what Reagan's rendezvous with destiny speech was. But let me share it with you because I think this is important. We are coming up on one of the most crucial elections in the history of my lifetime, and I believe in the history of the United States of America. And it is critically important that we put people of leadership that have the skills, the leadership skills, the biblical skills that God requires in the Bible. You have heard me say this, but for those who haven't heard me, quote from Exodus chapter 18, verse 21, there are four requirements of the people that we appoint to lead over us. And this is biblical. This is in the Torah. It's in the Septuagint, in the book of Exodus. And those four qualifications, not three, not two, not one, but the four qualifications to appoint someone um, to to lead us as our leadership. They have to be people of accomplishment. They have to fear God. They have to love truth, and they have to hate money. And when I say that about hating money, I want to be very clear. It's not that God hates money, because money is used in our economy, in the world. But it's how we use money, because God hates dishonest scales. And money is typically used in politics to pay someone off, to bribe someone, to garner someone's favor. But when Reagan made his famous speech back in 1964, this rendezvous with destiny speech, it is as relevant today as it was back then. So let me share with you what the Lord shared with me. As we are heading in, like I said, to the final stretch, to the primary election day, August 4th, we are making decisions that are going to be lasting decisions. We saw what happened under COVID. We saw how our leadership handled the COVID crisis, how our leadership in Tennessee, I'm talking about Tennessee, how our leadership surrendered to the powers that be in Washington, D.C. They did not protect our constitutional freedoms. But here's the speech. This is in the words of President Ronald Reagan almost 58 years ago. Quote, "You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of men on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness." Hear me, ladies and gentlemen, because Ronald Reagan was prophesying back then in 1964. We had no idea. Yes, his words sounded nice, and those words have been often quoted over the almost 60 years since he said them. But are we doing the very thing he warned us against? Because remember, this race is about our children. It is about the future that we will leave for them. I had gone on to share that as a military leader, this is what the Lord shared with me. As a military leader, Moses sent 12 spies into Canaan to conduct a recon mission. The spies were to gather intel. Unfortunately, 10 of the spies lacked the courage to rise to the challenge. Leadership does matter. As a result of the failed leadership of those 10 leaders, the whole nation had to pay the consequences of the lack of leadership by those individuals. Ultimately, only Joshua and Caleb were able to enter the promised land because they had faith to believe God would give them the victory to take the territory. As we go to vote in the coming weeks to take back our nation, we too will bear the consequences of our choices. Can we defeat Biden and the Marxist takeover of our nation? Or will our children and generations after us have to pay the price for our failure to appoint leaders with faith and courage too? In closing, as you go to cast your vote, I would be humbled and honored to have you vote on August 4th for me, so that we can take back our nation, one county, one state at a time. So, ladies and gentlemen, leadership does matter. And if you agree with this message, I'm going to ask you to please share this, like it, push it out on your social media platforms, make comments. If you need a yard sign, we need to hear from you. Remember to go to our website at laurietn63.com. That's laurietn63.com. Please, we need your donations to keep our programs, our commercials on the air, and we need your support. We need volunteers to help these last couple of weeks to work at the polls. Go to our website, sign up to get on our mailing list, send in a donation, share, like. If you think leadership matters, I need to hear from you. God bless you, and thank you for all you do.